Hello and welcome to a new episode on our podcast. And today we are in Athens with Miltos George. Hey Miltos, how are you?
Hello, nice to see you guys.
Great. So and we're not in our regular Dubai studios. Now we're Athens. So how's it feeling to be here today?
Great and welcome, and let's see how this one goes.
Definitely. So we're gonna speak first of all, about marketing, about businesses like we usually do. So I want to ask you, because you have a marketing agency that works very, very well. I want to ask you, maybe as a piece of advice for other marketing agencies, if you were starting an agency today, what is the first thing that you avoid doing? Because some people, when they're opening an agency, they're making a lot of mistakes. So what kind of mistakes you see the most?
So I think the biggest mistake that the new marketing agency owners do is they don't focus, they don't have a specific industry or niche. For example, real estate marketing or Forex marketing, or they are trying to be a boutique agency, which is not the best idea. So it's better to focus in one specific area that you know very well. So you can also consult the clients, not only on the marketing aspect, also the operations aspect, on the sales aspect, and everything else.
So, give me an example from you. What kind of niches you identified when you opened your...
Actually, when we started almost 3.5 years ago, we were also a boutique agency. This is why I mentioned this.
So you made this mistake by yourself?
Yes, we made this mistake. We didn't focus on a specific niche. And afterwards, as you know, we focus a lot on fintech, Forex brokers, crypto brokers, and real estate.
Amazing. So, and you found yourself positioned well in those niches, and you managed to help a lot of businesses on that niche. And what is you feel is the most important business decision you made regarding to your own business? Maybe others can learn from it as well.
This is a good question. The most important decision was not to grow so fast. Let me explain. So when we just first started, I didn't focus on client acquisition. I focused on retaining clients. The motivation behind this was to actually retain the existing clients and build a good reputation. So we were not focusing as much on growing as fast as possible. We were focusing more on building good long-term relationships and retaining existing clients. This is a decision I think that's bringing us now a good return on investment.
I think that, there's a lot of marketing agencies also, at the beginning of my journey as a marketing content creation person, I always thought that I need always to bring more new clients in. But when I found out that actually investing in your existing clients, making sure that they stay with you for longer periods of time is the best decision, because then they can they work with you for longer terms.
Exactly.
They are,
higher lifetime value of existing clients. When you have a higher client value, you can also invest more on client acquisition. So I'm not sure if people know the formula of marketing is the cost per acquisition. It's actually client value minus the cost per acquisition is the return on investment. So once you have a higher lifetime value of a client, then you can also increase the cost per acquisition.
Yes.
Let's say a client brings you 10,000 per year. It makes sense to spend at least 1,000 to acquire a new client. If the lifetime value of a lifetime value of a client in 1 year is only 1,000, it doesn't make sense to spend 1,000 to acquire this new client. So retaining clients and increasing the lifetime value of them, it's very important for
and also
business.
Something is very important about marketing in specific, that you are able to create better success for a client if you're working with me for a long time, especially if you're not just doing campaigns, let's say, because campaign, you can in 2 or 3 days, you can start getting leads in and everything works. And it can work well on the first go. But if you're working in SEO like you are doing, or in other fields, you actually need those 2, 3, 4 months to create the success. And once you create a success for a client and you're able to retain it for a longer time, he will stay with you forever. If you are able to get good.
Exactly. Yeah. But most people don't understand this. And, you cannot actually commit. When we meet a new client, I'm trying to explain them that the results will come after most likely 6 months or a year. So you need to commit with an agency for at least 1 or 2 years. It's the same with when we help clients hire C-level positions or CMOs. You cannot bring a CMO. They won't bring any results within the first 6 months. So you have to give them the time to learn the business, learn the operations, learn the strategy, and then they will do a new strategy, and that new strategy will take at least 6 or 12 months. So unfortunately, most new business owners don't have the time or the resources to the patience to commit 1 or 2 years until they see the results. So yeah, it's important to choose very good collaborators, especially for a new business. That we're discussing new business owners. It's very important to find good people to partner with.
Sure.
Like you don't need many. Like we are doing podcasts now in different countries, but we are working together for the last, I think, almost 1 year, let's say.
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, and we started working together on a first podcast that you invited me. Then we started doing some other things, the shorts and everything else. It's a long-term collaboration. So you don't need many partners. You just need very good people. You need to retain. It's the same with retaining clients. You need to retain good existing partnerships.
Definitely. So maybe you can give us tip, from your experience, finding and retaining good vendors or good collaborations. What are the best tips or things you can give to someone, to a business owner that now wants to find a good vendor to run with for a few years?
I think you need to search very hard to find good vendors, and most of them, unfortunately, don't come online. You won't find good vendors easily online. It needs to be most likely a referral. Like you came from a referral, another vendor of ours also came from a referral. You need to ask your friends or partners. They won't refer someone that they don't trust. So it's like a reputation management, let's say, referring people. So I think the best sourcing good vendors comes mostly from referrals.
Yeah, it's definitely okay. But there's sometimes when you are the first person who needs something. Let's say for us, if you didn't know someone who did podcast before, you did, so we find it. But if not, so if you get a good vendor now and you see an interesting ad on Facebook and you leave the phone number there, what are the tips you can give to someone to make sure to help him to find the best vendor for him?
You need to see the case studies. 100% they need to provide case studies, and on those case studies, you need to ask them very specific questions. For example, we are a marketing agency. We run Google Ads. You need to ask the person that's doing the Google Ads a very specific questions. For example, what was the cost per click? What was the cost per lead? So you are 100% certain that they know and they did the actual work. So first of all, going through case studies, and then asking very good contextual questions based on those case studies.
And can you give me an maybe example for a vendor that you find or collaboration that you find that actually you worked with for a couple of years or until now and it was successful?
We actually hired, it's not a vendor, we actually hired our first salesperson a few weeks ago. And I wasn't able to find someone within our budget because good salespeople are very, very expensive. So what we did, we opened a position for a salesperson. And when I was going through the CVs, I didn't go for big companies, or it's very easy to sell for Microsoft. It's very easy to sell for Salesforce. I was going for salespeople that work in companies like ours, or even smaller companies, because it's very hard to sell for someone that doesn't have the brand. So this is another tip when you are selecting people, or when you are selecting freelancers or vendors. Find people that have worked with similar companies to yours. You understand? If you are an IT services company, don't try to hire from, I don't know, SAP or whatever huge company, because it's very easy for them to sell. Hire from a similar or a smaller company.
Yeah, you need to, like in other words, you're basically saying that you need to hire from places that are actually a bigger challenge or a similar challenge to what you will go, because a salesperson that doesn't have a good brand behind him or big brand behind him needs to work much harder to get a sale.
Exactly. And I think especially for recruiting, most people are doing this mistake, is they are trying to recruit from bigger companies from theirs. So they are trying to recruit, they are especially recruiters, a bigger company than theirs. No, that's a mistake, especially for sales and marketing and even operations. You need to find from companies that are similar to yours, because as I was telling you before, it's very easy to do sales for HubSpot. It's very easy to do sales for Salesforce. It's very easy to do marketing for HubSpot and Salesforce. Everyone knows HubSpot. You can do amazing work, but it's very hard to do marketing for an unknown IT services company. It's very hard to do operations for a small marketing company and do the processes and all of this. So this is, I think, one of the best recruiting tips that I can give is recruit people that have done good work at similar companies to yours, not bigger. Don't make this mistake. I think most recruiters and even most founders, CEOs are doing this mistake. They ask the recruiter, hire that person, because I have been through this process before. They ask you, when I was a CMO, I was hiring lots of marketing people. They asked me, hire from, I was on a Forex broker back then, and they were trying to recruit people from one of the biggest Forex companies. And we did actually hire people from them, but we saw that, they were doing a very specific work, because they were in such a big company that they were doing specific campaigns, for example, for Meta, and we also wanted them to do some other kind of work. If you are a smaller company, you need to be more of a 360 person. So
Definitely. And if we are continue talking about how to grow an agency, how to make it better, what are the hires that you think that because sometimes, or most of the times, marketing agency starts with the owner just doing everything, and then he starts hiring people and bringing things to just help him and cover everything. So what is the first hire you would recommend for a new agency or a business owner to have at the first place?
The first hire should be the things you are not good at. For example, I wasn't great, let's say, at account management. So my first hire was an account manager that he still works with me. He's also from Greece. Because I wasn't able to do great account management back then. I was doing also the back work, the Google Ads, Meta Ads, SEO, everything else. So the first hire needs to be what you are not good at, and you can easily give to another person. So it depends from the founder, let's say. If you are not good at sales, outsource sales. The first thing you need to outsource or hire is sales. If you are not good at operation, the first thing you need to outsource is operations.
Yeah, so it goes by that. And now we have AI on board, and it can help us automate and create a lot of processes along the way. What are the things that you need that must be operated by AI, or can be operated by AI in a good way, that will actually replace a person or change someone from actually doing it by himself?
I think you cannot outsource to AI sales or account management. These are very specific things that need to be done by humans. But most likely everything else, operations, project management, marketing, media buying campaigns will be done or are currently being done by AI. So let's say the good question will be, what would I change in my hiring process now with AI? I will only hire, human-centric positions. I will then hire, media buying or content writers, or these things are being done by AI currently. So
yeah, and you mentioned media buying and also ad campaigns, which are not only automated, by outside like AI, but also inside the platform. Let's say Meta has its own Andromeda program, which basically lets anyone, be the campaign manager for itself. What the people should know about those changes in the AI advertising platforms?
Media buying is becoming easier now, especially with AI. Everyone will be able to run media buying campaigns easily. So it will become even harder now for marketing agencies, because people will use AI for, you don't need specific skills anymore to run a media buying campaign. And even if Meta will also replace the creative part, they will also do I'm not sure if they are currently in beta. They will run similar to Canva. They will have something inside Meta Ads. So they will also provide, you will give them the website or maybe the brand guidelines or whatever it's going to be, and they will provide the creatives as well.
Yeah, for now they're doing like an extra. So if you put a creative inside, they will create more creatives from that creative.
Exactly. So maybe in a few years you won't need a media buying agency. Everything will be done through Meta.
And you think it will do good for advertising?
Yes, if you are a small business owner and you spend only, let's say, 500 euros per month on media buying, then you may not need a media buyer. But if you are spending 100,000 or 200,000 and you have the media buyer that will do a very small 1% or 2% per week change, that affects the return on investment. So for bigger budgets, I think they will always have a media buyer or a marketing agency to help them, because they don't want to take the risk. They want to automate spending $500,000 per month. Let's say a Forex broker that spends $500,000 a month on Meta and Google Ads.
Yeah.
They won't let automate that, and they need someone to go through the campaigns, see if there's any mistakes.
Yeah, but do you think that actually they will do that? They will hire someone for higher budgets because they think this person will do better than the AI, or they just afraid?
It will be like the pilot now.
Yeah.
The pilots now, most of the process is automated. I think what's not automated, it's only when the plane
and when they are landing and departing.
The landing is not automated, but everything else, I'm pretty certain now, even with the new Airbus, almost everything is automated.
Yeah.
Only the landing is not automated at the moment. So it's the same with the media buying. You will have a media buyer. Most of the things will be automated. He will be like the pilot and maybe go through specific campaigns. Maybe, if something goes wrong, he will go through the campaign. He will be like the pilot.
But do you think that they are doing it, that they need pilot inside media buying?
Because, they do. Yeah, of course they do.
But it's because they don't trust the AI, or because it's really needed over there?
Okay, the pilot is needed. That's a good correlation.
The question if it's even needed, because AI may be doing better job.
Yes, it won't be needed, but okay, the pilot is not a good example. Then we will say that the Tesla drivers, with the FSD now, the automated driving, you don't actually need a driver there. I'm sure with Waymo there's no drivers,
yes.
Especially in San Francisco. You have seen those videos?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah. You will need someone in case something goes wrong. So that's a better example. The media buyer will be like a driver. Everything will be automated. most likely in next year in 2026, everything media buying wise will be, most of the campaigns will be automated, and you will be like the Waymo driver that if something goes wrong, you get on the wheel and you don't lose your budget.
Yeah, so in that case, maybe it will be also cheaper to have media buyer because you don't need that much time of him. You can just need, him to, let's say, review the campaign every week, see that if it's running well, okay, if you get the good leads, etc. And if not, he will just do 10-minute worth of corrections to the actual campaign, or maybe suggest to get better creatives.
Hopefully,
and then that's it.
Because
yeah, it will change the entire industry. So it's something that, I mean, it's a process we're seeing for a long time, because I can tell you that I'm running my own ad campaigns for many years now. And at the beginning, I had invested, in targeting and retargeting and all those things, but now I'm not. I just put the ad creative over there and I let it run, and it runs, and it delivers very good results.
Exactly. So yeah, especially for business owners, we discussed this in the last podcast. With AI, they will save a lot of resources. They are already saving content writing. They are already saving project management. They are already saving resources for maybe operations, if they can use automated AI tools for operations. So it will be easier. It is easier to start a business, but it's also harder to find clients.
Yeah, because everyone has these advantages of AI. It's not just you; it's everyone. Everyone can enjoy it, and it's very easy.
Exactly. It will be harder to find clients. It will be harder to retain clients because of AI. Yeah,
definitely. And let's talk a little bit about your own company, because I think that a lot of, not only agencies, but almost any business owner feels that he needs to go viral in order for him to be successful in business. So if he wants a lot of clients, he has to be viral. He has to be very successful online, not just on media buying and ad campaigns, but also on the organic content. Do you feel like that as well? There is no possibility to actually have successful business if you're not viral?
I disagree with this. I had a very good discussion, and I wanted to write a blog post about with a client recently. He's in his, I think, mid-30s. The client owns a forex broker in his mid-30s, and he was telling me he had some good topics and good opinions about paid ads and organic ads. And we were discussing that, paid advertising is a good way to grow a business, but it's also like a cheat code. Let me explain. I'm not sure if you already know because you are laughing what he was saying about.
I understand, and I agree, and I definitely agree. Yeah, I agree, because I can tell you this from my own businesses. So yes. I've had two let's say stages of my company. The first one was organic. Only organic, and then I added some media buying campaigns into that. So when I did just the organic, it was very hard to get clients to work. I know I did, we talked about it in other episodes. I did a lot of community marketing. So yes. I basically went online every day for 2, 3, 4 hours. Anyone that wrote something about podcasts, I immediately responded, what's the best microphone for a podcast? I said, okay, you should buy this one and this one. So I did a few hundred of posts like that, and I did eventually get clients, but it took me a lot of time and effort and money.
Organic.
But those people still call me today, 5 or 6 years after this post, or even they are referring people to me and I don't even know them. So this one woman called me 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago, and I did it 5 years ago. I stopped doing it, 4 years ago. I'm not doing it for 4 years. And she told me, you helped a friend of mine 4 years ago to buy a microphone, so he gave me a phone number, and now I'm calling you about the podcast. So wow. Those things are very powerful, but they are very tough. When you're doing ad campaigns, it's super cheap. It's super fast. I mean, the day after you get leads and it's working and everything is okay. The leads may not be the hottest, and you need to do a lot of work on them and to grind on the leads. But after a week or 2 weeks, you get a sale. So you can live your entire life on ad campaigns, but nothing stays. This is the problem.
And on the paid ads, they don't stay?
I tell you what, on the paid ads, because I've did paid ads for so long, For 4 years, I'm spending, five figures number every month for so many years. I got viral because people saw me so many times on their paid campaigns. So I'm planted in their head.
So what's your opinion about organic versus paid ads? Because you have done both.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, it's definitely a cheat code.
It's not my opinion. It's my opinion.
It's definitely a cheat code. I agree with that.
But is it a good cheat code or is it a bad cheat code?
So if you are doing just paid ads, it's a bad cheat code because then you're not creating anything that will last with you. So people say, okay, I can put $1,000 now. I can get 5 clients. I charge each of them $1,000. I'm a 1 on 5. I'm good. But if you have 1 month, one bad month, and you don't have this $1,000 to spend, and now you need to have clients, and now so I'm seeing Hormozi.
Yes, but it's same with organic. If you don't find a client, you need to pay. You have a payroll. You need. It's exactly the same with organic. It doesn't mean that if you are doing organic, okay, maybe you are not spending money on budgets, but you have to pay yourself, and you need to have clients fast, especially when you start. So what are you going to do? You're going to continue organically without running ads just to grow organic? And
I think it's like if you want to get vegetables, it's either you plant seeds on soil or going to the supermarket and buy them. Okay, in both stages you will get vegetables.
Yes.
One will take you 6 months. One will be tomorrow or today or in 20 minutes. It can deliver it to you. But once those vegetables are over, you need to go again and buy them. If you are growing seeds, you will wait 6 months, 8 months, but you will constantly have vegetables.
Like that's a very good correlation.
So that's the thing here. So that's why you need to do both.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was telling Mark, his name is Mark. I will mention it. I'm not sure if he wants to mention this because the discussion was between me and him. But yeah, he was telling me that he didn't tell me it's a cheat code, but he wants to grow organic, especially on social media. And, I was telling him that organic is great, but there are stages of every business. Like the first years growing organic is fine. But after the third year, if you want to scale, you need to run paid ads.
Sure.
It's every stage of the business.
Yeah.
Also, the best. So I will give you another better correlation is VC funded startups with bootstrap startups. So, if a startup is VC funded, they have more resources. So
not just money, also connections.
Yes, okay, but I'm talking about especially the money part. So VC funding is similar to paid ads. You grow faster, but I'm not sure if this faster way is better. Like most of the bootstrap startups, that have hardships, that are growing organically, that eventually they become, if they are good enough, they will become a better. So in my opinion, you have exactly the same, let's say, software companies, the same startups. One of them is VC funded, the other is bootstrap. I believe that it's better to go through the hardships, to become bootstrap, to have less resources, and eventually that startup will become a better, better investment.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'll say you even more than that. I decided in my startup career to do only bootstraps. So I'm only doing it by myself, and I got approached by VCs before telling me, hey, maybe your idea is interesting to us. I told him, no, it's okay. Why I did that? Because I think it's similar to being viral online. If you're viral online, it means you are doing something good. You get traction from the audience, and it's actually interesting people. And people are interested of your idea. If you are putting paid ads, then it's just there because you paid for it. It's not because you created good content. It was
no. I think virality also is not good for a business owner.
It depends. What kind of business? For a restaurant, it's amazing. For a forex trader, it's very bad. But for a restaurant or for a bar or for anything that receives high volume of clients and it goes to the lowest common, it's very good.
Okay, what I mean is, let's say we can do something viral. Obviously, I can say something stupid now, and maybe it goes viral.
Yeah.
But you need to sustain. It's better to have a sustainable growth
Sure.
on social media, or on your business, whatever. It's better, let's say, to have 1,000 views on each video rather than have 100,000 and the rest of them are like 10 views. You understand my point? It's
Sure.
better to have sustainable.
For
it's
me,
the same with organic. It's the same.
For me, it's a question of targeted audience. Who is your
Yes.
targeted audience? If it's like a restaurant, so it's anyone basically who likes shawarma, who likes shakshuka, or likes kebab, doesn't matter.
Yes.
So over there, your targeted audience is huge. So you actually need to go viral for him to succeed. But if your niche, if your targeted audience are real estate brokerages based on Athens selling to Maltese people,
Yes.
then you don't need to be viral because you'll
Exactly.
get traction from people you don't care about. But you can give 1,000 views. All of them are from Maltese people that looking to buy real estate in Athens, and then you'll get clients out of there. So that's
Exactly.
you need to go always to the targeted audience.
So back to your question about virality, it depends on the business. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's our answer to your question.
And so let's talk a little bit about that. From your experience creating content, also SEO, which is, it's a different medium to creating content. What kind of things the businesses that doesn't need to go viral, that good 1,000 views are enough for them to create traction and good clients, what kind of things they should incorporate in their content for them to actually be able to sell to those clients later?
We discussed this in the last podcast as well. It's better to we have one client now we just started working with, and it's a real estate agency. And they used to do lots of different topics, like they used to do car rentals, they used to do holidays, they used to do blog posts about anything random that will bring traffic. And now they have seen a big decrease in their SEO efforts. That's why they came to us. And I noticed that Google is penalizing content that's not relevant to your industry. So we had to delete hundreds of blog posts that are not relevant to real estate. And we started saying, guys, I told them we're going to build a strategy that's going to bring much less traffic, but the traffic is going to come with buying intent. Like real estate, it's based in Dubai, like 1 bedroom real estate JVC, and blog post about something very specific. So SEO is not about just generating traffic. That may be the easiest part of generating traffic, but it needs to be not only relevant traffic, but relevant traffic with buying intent. People that will come to your site and they have the intent to buy. So that's a qualified lead. So you need to reverse first. You need to, let's say, do a reverse engineer your strategy and say, what kind of traffic do I want on my site? I want real estate investors that are based in Dubai and are interested in JVC, for example. And then you write blog posts based on the buying intent.
And from what you saw, like it changed the way they got clients, or it gave better results.
Yes, we started working with them just almost 5 or 6 weeks now. So it takes 6 months to generate results on new blog posts. And, we need also to do link exchanges and link building and everything else. But in other clients, and even if people now go to our site, growthonomics.com, they will see that we are currently using this strategy for ourselves. So, yeah, it's generating amazing results.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of businesses are approaching you, to help them promote their business and market their business. And that within time, the ways to actually create good, viable marketing strategy online is changing, because we didn't have TikTok, let's say, so prominent 5 or 6 years ago. We didn't have Instagram that's strong also then. So everything is changing all the time. AI, of course. So if a new business owner will come to approach you today and say, hey,
we don't do viral.
No,
because our businesses
not viral, but if a new business owner will approach you and say, I don't want to be viral, but I want to be able to have good clients for myself, what kind of tips you can give to him?
That's another good question.
What
They
you should
want-
invest? What is the number one thing you should invest now in order for you to get the most possibility to get good clients with spending as less as possible, let's say?
I think case studies are the first thing they need to invest, and testimonials. So let's say you are a real estate agency, try to get testimonials and case studies from your clients. If you are a forex broker, exactly, again, get reviews from your existing clients, like Trustpilot, especially on Trustpilot. Most forex traders now are very knowledgeable. So they don't go to any broker. They research, they do online reputation, which broker is the best. So testimonials, reviews, and case studies. This is one of the most important aspects of marketing at the moment.
And it's amazing you're saying that, and not paid ad campaigns or something like that, because it can be free. Basically you can ask your client to take the phone, just say 30 seconds of what was like me. And I actually had a business consultant I worked with back in the day, that this was his entire method. Like he used to even, help people over the phone by free. Just told him, the only pay I'm asking for you is just do 30 seconds of saying how my service was.
What was his service?
Business consultant. Yeah. So he was just told to him, use my phone number. I will consult as much as you want for free. Just after this call, take your phone and record 30 seconds of what you said about my service. And he has thousands of those reviews on his website. He always on his YouTube. You can see, name of almost anyone in the industry, recommending him at some point, which I know that helped him create so many clients. And this thing is for free. People are, investing so much money on businesses, buying websites, buying, stores and equipment and all those things. But this thing is free, and it can change a business.
It is, and that's why I'm being honest. Like, even if I can't help anyone find clients, that's my job, to find clients and grow businesses, almost any kind of business. But if you don't have the testimonials or reviews on online, or your online reputation is not good, anything we do that's even SEO, organic growth, or paid growth with paid ads won't help you. You need first to have good reviews, good case studies, good testimonials. So Eliaz, I'm not sure I've told you this, but we never discussed this in the other podcast we did together or with other people. I think growing a business is very boring.
It is.
Like, it's not like fancy. We don't do anything fancy. You are at the office all day grinding. I'm not sure if that's a better word I can use on grinding.
So you're saying that driving Lambos all day and going to the nicest jet skis and hotels is not how you grow a business?
Yes, exactly. Especially in the UAE, you see lots of these kind of things. You see that home. You do reviews, for example. It's very boring to grow a business there, and it's, as you say, it's exactly the opposite of what you just mentioned with the fancy cars and everything else. You just do on a daily basis. You grind, and eventually, hopefully, you get a good reputation and people trust you.
So how do you think about those people that drive Lambos and show on their Instagram, their good, happy Dolce Vita, their best life? What do you think about them as business owners?
I don't think most of them are business owners. They are influencers. So that's their business model. I'm not making fun of it, because that's their business model. For example, he's a crypto trader and he's trying to find students or clients to follow him on Discord or whatever. That's his business model. These people are not smart enough to realize that this is their business model, to rent a Lambo. We both live in Dubai, so we know that you just rent a Lambo for 1,000 dirhams. Maybe it's on an hourly basis, so it's even less. You go to downtown or Burj Khalifa and you take some photos. So that's their business model, and I think they are faking themselves. They are lying to themselves. I'm not sure. I never thought of it.
But it's funny because we're seeing it online so much, and those people are getting viral, like we spoke before, and people are following them. People are following the channels. Sometimes we hear some of them, disappear.
Yes,
It's
my
a
God.
lot of stories we know like that of
Especially
people.
Russians, recently,
all
there's
over
lots
the
of
world,
case studies.
all
yeah.
over. There are people that just they have this amazing life, and after a few months
don't
just
disappear.
disappear, or they stop answering anyone. They're not
because they have investors' money. I'm not sure if you are referring to this story that
Yes.
was recently in Dubai. I think people need to be smart enough to realize that these kind of things are fake. And unfortunately, good business owners are very hard to find and follow. Like they don't really advertise themselves as much. Maybe
they don't have the time. They are working so hard.
Exactly.
And it's also something that's weird about social media, because the good, honest people are not on social media, or they are less on social. So there are not a lot of people know them. But the people that are sometimes, I can't say it about anyone, but sometimes are not that honest and not that business owners are very prominent on social media, so anyone knows them. So how can us, as good business owners that want to promote themselves, can find the silver lining here?
How to find good people to follow, or how to become a good influencer?
How to become a good someone that is online enough so people will know that he's good enough and follow him.
It's the same with what we are doing. Growing, we have a very low growth rate organically. And even if you see one of the most famous people I follow, most of them are on Twitter. For example, is Greg Eisenberg, Eric Thorenberg. They are not very famous, but their content is amazing. Like, I'm not kind of an Alex Hormozi guy, because you mentioned him before. I follow more of kind of niche people like Naval. Maybe you know Naval Ravikant.
I think so, yeah.
Balaji, he has a network stake in Singapore. Eric Thorenberg, Greg Eisenberg. These are they don't have millions of people. Maybe Balaji and Naval are more popular, but they are more niche and give very good specific tips, opinions, and they are very hard to find. It's the same with the event, that good people are very hard to find. Like I was talking to an investor at the IFC recently. I met he works at the DIFC, and he also is an angel investor. And I asked him, like, how do you find good startups, and how, because not only himself but also the IFC is investing in an AI startup. He told me the most basic thing is, like, it's very hard to find good startups. It's very hard to find good salespeople. You won't find them. They are not very, let's say, famous. You understand my?
Yeah. So it's hard to find them because they are so concentrated of working and creating good traction on working. As you said, grinding so many hours on the computer every day, anywhere they go. So they are not investing enough on marketing.
Exactly. Now I'm at the process. We are doing some very small merchant acquisitions. We are buying very small businesses, very, very small. For example, we just bought a newsletter so we can help one of our businesses. We are doing very small targeted M&As, merchant acquisitions. And I realized that the good businesses are not flashy. It's the opposite of what you said with the Lambos and Skylines and downtown. Where the good businesses are, maybe some of them have a very bad website, for example, and then they have a very good, you understand my,
yes.
I'm not sure how to explain this.
They're not well branded, but they are good businesses.
Exactly. Yeah. This was the most common thing. I've been thinking about this a lot recently, because when we are doing research for M&As to help our clients, or even for our agency, we're trying now to do some merchant acquisitions. I've noticed that if it's something with a very good brand, most of the time there's no, let's say, quality behind it, and whereas something with a very bad website or I'm not sure why this is the reason.
I'll tell you what I think about it. I think that at the end of the day, as a business owner, you need to have some sort of a plan, or you need to focus on something. You can't do everything very good. You can do sales very good while doing marketing very good, while doing product very good, while doing accounting very good. You need to prefer some over the others. So those businesses prefer branding, so they look amazing online, but the product is mediocre at best, let's say. And some of them prefer the product, so the branding is mediocre at best. So it's all about the focus. So for us as business owners, we definitely want to find the best business, not the best branded agency, you know. So I think that's the case.
Exactly. Yeah. So now when I see something very flashy, we are trying to do research for M&As. When I see a very, very flashy website and social media, or when I see the business owner, he's very into social media and these kind of things, whatever, I realize that most of the time the business is not good. And when you see like a correlation of someone that's not very active on social media, maybe he writes a blog post every month or whatever, and branding is not good. Maybe he doesn't have a cover photo. This is a correlation. It's funny, but I've seen the correlation.
It's like the best restaurants are those unknown, you know, in the smallest corner, in the dirtiest corner, in the dirtiest neighborhood. It's the best restaurants, and the flashy, high, you know, beautiful restaurants are.
That's the best example.
And the worst food.
Yeah, that's the best example you can find.
Definitely. Let's talk about one more thing I want to talk with you about. Maybe a little bit of lessons for business owners from your experience, you know, doing merger and acquisitions, creating your own business, working with a lot of businesses. What is the first advice you would give to someone that wants to open a new business that will help him, you know, change the way he looks at business?
Save money. I mean, before you start your business, save money. So when I first started, I didn't get paid. I'm not sure about yourself. My first year, I didn't get paid. On purpose, I save money so I can invest in, back then I was investing in SEO, operations, software tools. We use many software tools, Ahrefs, so I was reinvesting all my profit in the business. So if you can save money before you start your business, so you can reinvest profits within your business, that's an amazing tip. Your first hire is the most important. We take, you should be very careful, and most likely he needs to get, or she needs to get paid better than yourself. That's another good tip. Find a better person than yourself. For example, if you just mentioned you are not good at sales, find a very good salesperson and pay him better than you. And most people won't understand this tip. Maybe you will, Eliaz, because we have the same background and we understand ourselves very well. But most people won't understand this tip. But try to slow down growth. What I mean, don't try to grow as fast as possible, especially if it's your first business, because first of all, you will make a lot of mistakes. And also you will have a bad reputation. Let's say you want to grow as fast as possible. You make some viral videos, you make some paid ads, you find your first 10 clients. If you don't retain them, then you will get a very bad reputation. So if you can slow your growth and meanwhile also build your team, build your processes, build your operations, that's a great way to build a business.
Definitely, and people don't understand that they have one shot.
Exactly.
So if you will mess up a client now, not only he won't work with you anymore, but all of his friends won't work with you anymore.
Exactly.
And anyone he will ask you won't work with you anymore. So if you can make sure that when you meet a mass amount of clients, you will be in a very good business way, with a system, with a built-in system that will actually allow you to succeed. That's the best way, because I'll give you my example. I did these interviews also back at home in my country. So when I did those without the system, I messed up with so many clients, and I had so many, clients that didn't want to return, clients that were, complaining about the services, etc. Once we understood, that we need to have very clear terms and conditions for the service to clarify before what is included and what's not. We need to make sure that we have very good system with very good operating system for it, with a CRM that we can track the progress. And once we did that, we had clients that they weren't satisfied with the service, but they had good answers inside, and everything was clear on the table. So so it was much more their responsibility for not reading the TNC correctly, for
Exactly.
not figuring out the or not for not cooperating with us rather than us, not explaining ourselves correctly. So, but both of us understand because we are experienced.
Exactly.
The fact is you can't buy experience.
Exactly. Yeah, but if you slow down your growth and your first focus shouldn't be to make money as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It should be to make a good reputation as fast as possible.
Definitely. To be honest and
Yes.
to explain yourself correctly and to learn a lot from your mistakes, because you will, even if you will listen to our podcast, all of our podcasts and everyone else's podcast, you will make mistakes and you have to learn them by yourself.
Exactly.
All right, Miltos, we had very good conversation. We have, I want to ask you just before we wrap up, there's anything else you'd like to add before we finish?
It's amazing. I think we gave very, 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 very good tips this time.
Definitely. It was a very good
And
conversation.
if they follow our tips and processes and they have patience, they will build a successful business.
Definitely. And they are most welcome to reach Miltos. We'll add all your social media, so feel free to send you a message, to consult with you about marketing and everything else. And again, guys, thank you so much for being with us and see you next time. Bye-bye.